वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
Welcome to
Akaal Stories.
Today you'll be joining me, Dipjit Kaur,
me, Holly Kaur,
me, Gurnur Kaur, and me, Alam Singh.
So first of all, we are going to be doing the Gur Mantar, the Mool Mantar, and the Sikh General Knowledge. And actually today, Alam Singh will be especially doing it with us. So everybody, please join in with us.
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. वाहिगुरु, 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 वाहिगुरु. एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभउ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद.
10 Guru Ade Na.
पहले पातशाही श्री गुरु नानक देव जी, दूजे पातशाही श्री गुरु अंगद देव जी, तीजे पातशाही श्री गुरु अमरदास जी, चौथे पातशाही श्री गुरु रामदास जी, पंजवें पातशाही श्री गुरु अर्जन देव जी, छेवें पातशाही श्री गुरु हरगोबिंद साहिब जी, सतवें पातशाही श्री गुरु हरराय जी, आठवें पातशाही श्री गुरु हरकृष्ण जी, नौवें पातशाही श्री गुरु तेग बहादुर जी, 10वें पातशाही श्री गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी, 10वां पातशाही दी जोत श्री गुरु धन धन श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी.
पंज प्यारे दे ना.
भाई दया सिंह जी, भाई धर्म सिंह जी, भाई हिम्मत सिंह जी, भाई मोहकम सिंह जी, भाई साहिब सिंह जी.
4 साहिबजादे आदे ना.
बाबा अजीत सिंह जी, बाबा जुझार सिंह जी, बाबा जोरावर सिंह जी ਅਤੇ बाबा फतेह सिंह जी.
5 Kakara De Na.
केस, कंगा, कड़ा, किरपान, कशहरा.
3 golden rules.
नाम जपो, कीर्त करो, वन छको.
Nam Japo means doing part. Kirt Karo means
honest hard work.
And Vand Kishoko means
Sharing.
Well done everybody, you did it very well. So today is a very important topic because today we're going to be learning about our 10th Guru, Shri Guru
Gobind Singh Ji.
So first of all, let's get to know a little bit about them. So first of all, the basic facts. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji was born in 1666 in December in Patna Sahib.
Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji's mother's name was Mata Gujri Ji. Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji's father's name was Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, and he was also the 9th Guru.
Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave the Gurgadi to Guru Granth Sahib Ji.
Did you know that Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he didn't have any brothers or sisters?
And also Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Jyoti Jyot was in 1708 in October in Hazur Sahib. So those were the basic facts. Now let's get to know more. So first of all, you are going to be learning about the childhood. So when Guru Gobind Singh Ji was born, his father Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was in another place called Assam. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji saw his son for the first time when his son was 3.5 years old. Yes. And everybody adored Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And do you know his friends? They all respected Guru Gobind Singh Ji as if he was a leader. Yes, so that's how it was. And they played very different games from what we play today. So what kind of games do we play today, Gunur?
We played tag, hide and seek,
Yes, and
many more.
yes, and games like that. And do you have any others?
We played our consoles, which is Wii, the Xbox, the iPad.
Yes, so games like those. But in those days, Guru Gobind Singh Ji and his friends used to play archery, and they used to play a game where they would make groups and fight as if they were in a battle.
Which is called Gatka.
Yes, so that's how they used to do everything. And you know, in those days, the royal family was very cruel, weren't they?
Very cruel.
Yes. And so, Guru Gobind Singh Ji and his friends used to make faces at them when a family member of the royal family used to walk past. Because Guru Gobind Singh Ji taught everybody to be courageous. Why should you bow down to someone who is so cruel? Guru, what did everybody used to do to the royal family normally?
They used to bow down.
Yes, but Guru Gobind Singh Ji didn't. He taught everybody to be strong and brave. So in Patna Sahib, everybody really adored and loved Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And even the king's wife really adored Guru Gobind Singh Ji as well. So that's how it was. And then one day, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji had sent some of his Sikhs to Patna Sahib to tell them, Guru Gobind Singh Ji and his family, to come to Anandpur Sahib. And do any of you know what their reaction was? Yes, Gurnoor?
They were crying and really upset.
Yes, Alam Singh, do you know how their reaction was?
They were crying and upset because Guruji was leaving the
Yes.
city.
They were also really sad.
Yes, so all of these things were in everybody's mind. But Guru Gobind Singh Ji has stayed in Patna Sahib for 5 years. So now they were in Anandpur Sahib, where they would learn their education. So they would start it. Now in Anandpur Sahib, Guru Gobind Singh Ji learnt many things. And many languages as well. So Guru, do you know some of them?
Yes, Persian, Hindi.
Yes, and there was bridge language and Sanskrit. So all these languages were learnt. And even weaponry was taught. So what kind of weapons were they used? Yes,
Kirpad, which in English is a sword.
Yes, and Gurnur?
Tir, which is bow and arrow in English.
Yes, so all of these weapons were used as well. And even horse riding was taught. So how to ride a horse very fast. Do any of you know any tricks on a horse? Maybe one of them that they would have learnt? Yes, Alam?
Standing on 2 horses and riding them.
Yes, that was a trick that they learnt as well. So all these things were learnt by Guru Gobind Singh Ji in Anandpur Sahib. So they were ready for the future. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji's childhood was very busy, wasn't it?
Very busy.
Yes. Well, ours is not that busy because we just have education and then leisure and play. But over there, they had lots of things to do, didn't
Because
they?
they had to learn every day.
Yes, they did. So all these things were included in Guru Gobind Singh Ji's childhood. So now let's talk about Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Guru Gaddi or Guruship. So do any of you know what Guruship is? Yes, Gurnur?
When you became Guru.
Yes, when he became Guru. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji became Guru when he was only 9 years old. Isn't that so young?
That is very young.
That's really young. I'm 9 years old as well.
Yes. And Alam Singh, you're just about to become 9 years old, aren't you? So that is a very young age. And after Guru Gobind Singh Ji got Gurgadi, he said, now I will get an army and fight for justice. So that's what he said. And yes, he did that. So after Guruji got Gurgadi, there were many things that Guruji did. Lots of things. And there were lots of hobbies as well. Because everybody has a hobby, don't they? Do any of you have a hobby? Yes,
I like
Gunu?
swimming.
Yes, and do any of you have one?
I like swimming too.
Yes, so there are always similarities and everybody has a different hobby. But Guru Gobind Singh Ji actually really enjoyed poetry, so listening to it. And there were many poets kept by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, lots and lots. I don't think you could even guess. Do you know? Yes?
52 poets.
Wow, you know well. Yes, there were 52 poets. And every month there was a Kavi Darbar, and over there Guru Gobind Singh Ji used to tell the poets to share their poems with everybody. And at the end of the Kavi Darbar there was rewards. So all of these things were given out and everybody used to have a very good time, didn't they? So another thing that Guruji actually really enjoyed was playing an instrument. So what do we hear of now? What instruments do we hear of?
Harmonium.
Yes,
A
Gurnoor?
guitar.
Yes, tablas and anything else? Other
tablas.
things as well, yes. So nagaras and all of them. But in those days there was such a variety of musical instruments. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji actually had a favourite. They used to play an instrument called a taus.
A taus?
Yes.
I've
Have you
never
ever heard of it?
I've never heard of taus.
No.
No, but it was a very nice instrument and it was adored by Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And have any of you heard a nagara before?
Yes.
Yes, Alam Singh? And I've heard you played it before as well, haven't you? Yes.
I've heard it when it's the Nagar Kirtan and on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
A nagara makes a lot of attention.
Yes, it does. So all these things. And actually, Guru Gobind Singh Ji created a nagara a Nagara called the Ranjit Nagara. Yes, he did. And normally when someone used to play it, it used to fill in confidence in all the Sikhs because it's really loud, isn't it?
Really loud.
Really loud.
Yes, so that's what it was. So have you ever heard of a person called Bhai Nandlal ji?
No.
Who's that?
Well, I'm just about to tell you. Bhai Nandlal ji was actually a poet, and in 1682 he came to Guruji and became a Sikh. Yes, he did.
Wow.
And he wrote poetry about Guru Gobind Singh ji and about Sikhism. And also there were many other things that he did. He loved poetry, and you can still find his poems in today's Sikh libraries. Harleen, have you heard of any Sikh libraries?
Well, the local Gurukar where I go to, they've got a library over there, so there's a lot of Sakis and a lot of information, so you can go there.
Yeah, you might be able to find Bhai Nandlal ji's poems over there, so that's a good idea. So are you going to try and find them?
Yeah, I'm going to try and find them.
Yes, and read them and see what was really good about them. So all these things are about Guru Gobind Singh ji. So actually Guru Gobind Singh ji wrote Banis as well, and there are some of the famous Banis that we are just about to name. So there was Jafarnama.
Jap Sahib.
Akaal Ustad.
And Sawaiye.
Yes, all these are the famous Banis. And they were written by Guru Gobind Singh ji. So if you've heard of any of these, well, now you can go and tell someone, oh, this was written by Guru Gobind Singh ji.
And
Yes.
do read them when
Yes.
you can read Punjabi.
Yep. And listen to the meanings as well, so you know what Guru Gobind Singh ji has said in those.
Sometimes you can get them written in English.
Yes, you can. So all of these are a good way of learning Gurbani. So another thing is that Guru Gobind Singh ji actually fought many battles. Actually, in total, any of you know how many there were? Yes, Gurnur?
14?
Yes, there were 14 battles. Now, normally there were the attackers who used to attack Guru Gobind Singh ji. Guru Gobind Singh ji never attacked anyone else because Guru Gobind Singh ji just wanted peace and nice and justice and even equality.
Does that mean Guru Gobind Singh Ji never wanted to hurt anybody?
No, he didn't. But the attackers were normally kings and emperors, and they used to think that Guru Gobind Singh Ji wants to take over the kingdom and wants to be king. But that wasn't true. Even though Guruji was making new facilities for everybody, didn't mean that he wanted to become king, because Guru Gobind Singh Ji just wanted equality within everybody.
And Guru Gobind Singh Ji was really caring.
Yes.
True.
And actually, Guru Gobind Singh Ji won all the battles. So yes, that's a good thing, isn't it?
All of them?
Yes, all of them.
Wow.
Yes. So that's a lot about Guru Gobind Singh Ji. So now let's talk about the Jyoti Jyot. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Jyoti Jyot was in 1708 in Hazur Sahib. And actually, Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave the Guru Gaddi to Guru Granth Sahib
Sahib Ji.
before he went to Waheguru. So yes, Guru Granth Sahib Ji is our present Guru. Yes. So this is about his Jyoti Jyot, and we have learnt so much already, haven't we?
A lot.
Yes, and we've still got more. So actually, we are introducing a new thing in today's show, which is called the Akaal Stories Questionnaire. Yes. So as we have been learning about Guru Gobind Singh Ji today, we're going to have the questionnaire all about Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And as you can see, we have 10 questions on here, and each question has an answer to it. And if you get the answer correct, then you win a point, and there will be rewards given at the end of today's show. So let's get cracking. So all of you are our contestants today, and I wish you gain as much points as you can. So let's start the Akaal Stories questionnaire. So the first question, who was the mother of Guru Gobind Singh Ji? Yes, Alam Singh?
Mata Gujri ji.
Well done. And who was the father? Yes?
Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, which was the 9th Guru.
Well done. So when was the Khalsa created? Yes, Gurnur?
1699.
And what city did Guruji live in for 5 years? Yes, Alam?
Patna Sahib.
Yes, it was. And how old was Guruji when he got Guruship? Any of you know? Yes?
When he was 9 years old?
Yes, only 9 years old. And so, what was the name of the Nagara that Guruji created. We were just talking about that, weren't we? Yes.
Ranjit Nagara.
Yes, you have got it right. And can you give us names of some famous banis that were written by Guruji? We were talking about these as well, so I wish you remembered them. Yes, Alam?
Jafarnama.
And Gunur?
Suye,
Jap Sahib.
And any of you have another one? Yes?
Akaal Ustad.
Yes. So you all gain a point for that. So, for our 8th question. Now this is kind of easy because you're supposed to know this. So how many children did Guruji have, and can you give us their names? Yes, Alam Singh.
Char Sahibzade, Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Baba Jujhar Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, ਅਤੇ Baba Fateh Singh Ji.
Well done. You did all of them, and you even said how many children there were. So you gain extra points. So now this is the 9th question. And this might be actually a bit hard because you might not know, because we haven't been talking about this. But who was the king at that time? Do any of you know? Because this is actually general knowledge. Yes, Alam?
Aurangzeb and Bahadur Shah.
Yes. So was that in your mind as well?
Yes.
Yes. Aurangzeb was king, and then it was Bahadur Shah, and actually Aurangzeb's son was Bahadur Shah. So that's what it was. Now this is our last question. I wish you can get it. So can you give us names of some forts that Guruji created? Yes, Gunur?
Lohgarh Kila, Holgarh Kila, and Anandgarh Kila.
Yes, all of those. Those were all the names that I was looking for. So well done, you completed the Akaal Stories questionnaire, and I wish you were doing it at home as well, putting down the answers, answering them, and you could always write these questions down and then ask your friends who've been watching this show as well, because that's a really good way of learning. So we'll give the rewards a bit later on in the show, but first of all, we're going to be moving on to the next thing, which is Sakhis. Because Sakhis are amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we all have a Sakhi today. So we have 3 Sakhis in total.
Sometimes I ask my mum to read me bedtime stories as well.
Yes, it's really good.
Sakhis as well.
Yes, about our Sikh history. It's really important to know about Sikh history. And all of these Sakhis have a moral on them. So let's move on to the Sakhis. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
One day, it was at Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Darbar Sahib when Kirtan, Katha and lectures about Sikhi was going on. Suddenly, 15 to 20 Sikhs came in from the backside of the Darbar Sahib, all laughing, talking really loud. One of them had a tiger skin on the back shoulder. Guruji said to them, "Well, why have you distracted everybody? Why have you been speaking and talking so loud?" So one of the Sikhs said, "Well, Guruji, we are truly sorry, but something has happened which made us speak and talk really loud." So Guruji said, "Well, what happened? Share the news. What happened?" So one of the Sikhs told the whole story. For the past 3 days, people have been telling everybody that there has been a tiger around us seeking for food. People have stopped going to the places where they had thought the tiger had been. The only thing that was in people's mind was tiger, tiger, and tiger.
So one day, the local pottery man, he was out of his village with his donkeys. And halfway through his journey, the donkeys started to make noises. And the tiger was actually nearby. And the tiger, he came closer and he started to make the same noises as the donkeys. The pottery man looked confused. He went closer to the tiger and revealed its true identity. He saw that the tiger was not a tiger, but it was actually a donkey. And so the Sikh said, "Now we are here, Guruji, with the skin to show you what actually had happened." And the donkey is actually tied behind the Darbar Sahib. Everybody started laughing so loud. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji looked at everybody and then said, "I don't know if one of you are fake as well. What if you look all brave and strong from the outside, but you're nothing from the inside? You're scared and lonely and you can't do anything. No, us Sikhs should not be like that. We should be brave, strong, courageous, humble and helpful from the inside and the outside. We are true Sikhs. and we should be like this. And Guruji also said that I had set this up. I did this all because I wanted to see if you are actually true Sikhs or not. I wanted to see if you're fake from inside or real from inside and the outside. And this is what Guruji said. Everybody understood this. And so this is Guruji's teachings, that we should be true Sikhs, brave from the inside and brave from the outside. Humble, courageous. All these things are really important. All these values are really important. So I wish you enjoyed this story with me, Dipjit Kaur, and
me, Holly Kaur.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
I'm going to tell you a story about Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji's bravery. The Lohgarh Killa in Anandpur Sahib was surrounded by the Pahari Raja's army. And guess who was in the Lohgarh Killa? Well, it was actually Guruji and some of his Sikhs. They surrounded the Killa because they thought that the Sikhs were getting stronger and stronger every day. And Guruji was showing so much equality. So that's why they surrounded the Killa. This happened for 20 days. And then the Pahari Raja's army started getting frustrated because they thought that the Sikhs are not saying that you're stronger than us or you're braver than us or anything. But so that's why they got frustrated and they thought of a plan. They got a really big strong elephant and made it drink a lot of beer and wine until it did not have its sense. What would you think that will happen when you don't have your sense?
You just go
crazy.
You won't have any control.
Yeah, you'll be crazy and mad. So it did not have its own sense. They also tied iron plates. That must be really heavy, right? Around his head. And only the eyes were showing so he could see where it's going. And Guruji from inside and the Sikhs found out about the plan. And Guruji chose one of his bravest Sikhs called Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji. And Guruji asked him that, will you fight the elephant? And Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji said, of course, but I will need your blessings. So Guruji gave him his blessings and also a weapon called the Nagani Barcha. And I've also got a fact that, did you know the Nagani Barcha is at Anandpur Sahib right now, in Keskar Sahib, the Gurdwara. And if you ever go there, do go and look at it.
I would want to go and see it.
Yeah, same. I haven't seen it yet, but I will go and see it. And go and look at all the other weapons that Guruji used to use. Maybe a bow and arrow, swords or anything else. So then, Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji got on his horse and opened the gate from inside. The gate was really big, so you had to be careful how to open it. So he opened it and he started going towards the big screaming elephant. When he was very close to the elephant, because he was really intelligent and brave, he saw that the elephant had iron plates around its head and only the eyes were showing. And he also knew that if something goes into your eye or something happens to your eye, it really hurts.
It might sting as well.
Yeah, it stings as well. So what he did was he stood on his horse. He did the Chagara and stabbed it right in the middle of the elephant's eye. And the elephant was screaming, shouting really badly because he was injured. One of his eyes were lost, so he couldn't really see where it was going properly. But what it did was it turned around the opposite direction. So it started running towards the Pahari Raja's army. Because there were thousands and thousands, it couldn't kill all of them, but it killed a lot of them. And some ran away because they saw the elephant was turning and they knew that it might kill us, so they ran away. Then, after that, Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji went back into the Lohgarh Killa to Guruji. And he said that I could only do it because I had your blessings and I have had Amrit. Guruji said that Shavash, I knew you could do it. So, if you want to all become like Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji, then you need to have Amrit, because he had Amrit as well. And so, when I grow up, I'm going to have Amrit as well. Have you had Amrit yet?
Yeah.
Well, is it sweet? That's good.
Very beautiful.
That's nice. So all of you need to have Amrit if you want to become brave and courageous, just like Baba Jitta Singh Ji. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
So now it's my story, and I wish you enjoy this story as well. So one day, Guru Gobind Singh Ji wanted to test the Sikhs. So he called for a Brahmin who could take the Shani Devta's wanted gifts. The Brahmin thought, oh, I'm going to Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Darbar. I'm going to get lots and lots of gifts. So the Brahmin went to Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Darbar early Saturday morning. He had his donkeys with him so he could load all his gifts on the donkeys. He got there early morning and there was a lot of Sangat there because it was Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Darbar. A lot of Sangat there, yes. And so the Brahmin, he went up to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji told his Sikhs to get the Brahmin's wanted gifts. The Sikhs got the gifts. And normally a Shani Devta asks for Madi dal, mustard oil or iron. So that's what they got him. The Brahmin was so happy. He got all those things and set off with his donkeys and his gifts. A while later, some of the Sikhs looked up and heard what was happening. They saw what was happening was wrong. A Brahmin shouldn't get those gifts, should he? Because we don't believe in such things. So the Sikhs got up and ran after the Brahmin. Yes, they ran.
Did they run?
Yes, they ran all the way to the Brahmin.
Was it a long way?
Yes, and do you know what happened next?
What happened?
Well, they got to him and they said, where are you taking all these things? And the Brahmin said, oh, well, Guru Gobind Singh Ji has told me to take all the Shani Devta's wanted gifts, so all your sorrows will disappear. And the Sikhs looked at each other and then took all these gifts off the Brahmin and said, we understand our sorrows, we don't need you to help us fix them. We only believe in one Vaheguru, and that's it. So the Brahmin walked off, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Sikhs, they got the gifts and they went to the Darbar Sahib where the langar was. Out of the Madi dal and the mustard oil, they made food and they served it to all the Sangat. And from the iron, they actually made kades. And do you know why? Well, actually, in Anandpur Sahib, all the Sikhs, they find it easy to make kades or weapons because they normally used to make these kind of things. But making the kada was a new thing because they had never made that before. So that's what happened. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji came and saw what his Sikhs were doing, he was so happy and he said, you have all passed this test. So the moral of this story is that we should only believe in one Vaheguru. And you know, on Saturdays, we shouldn't give any special gifts to the Gurdwara because there's no point. Nothing's going to change. All the days are equal and none of them are bad. So that was a story and I wish you really enjoyed it. And remember the moral because the morals are the most important bit of the Sakhi, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I wish you understand all those Sakhis. So we've had a really, really packed show today because we've told you so many things.
A lot of information.
Yes, about Guru Gobind Singh Ji. There was Guru Gobind Singh Ji and all his facts and childhood, Guruship, and even the questionnaire that we introduced today. So we should really enjoyed all of our show today. And now for the rewards. Let's get back with the others so we can give the rewards out and end our show there.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
So we are all back again with the rewards. So let's give the rewards out and then, so here you go Gunul Ko, this is your reward for participating in the questionnaire.
Thanks.
And Alam Singh, and here's yours,
Thank
honey.
you.
Thank you for coming and participating in today's show. And I think you've learnt a lot as well.
I've learnt a lot.
Yeah, because before we didn't know much of these things. But when we learn all these things and tell you about them, then it's more practice and we get to know more of our Sikh history.
And you can tell more people your knowledge.
Yes, and it's a good thing, isn't it? Because you should know your Sikh history. So as today is Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Gurpurab, I wish you're all celebrating and having a very good time. How do you guys celebrate?
I go to the Gurdwara, listen to Path, Kirtan, and sometimes even Katha.
Yes, and Harleen?
I wake up in the morning, go to Gurukat, have langar, listen to Kirtan, Katha, lectures about Sikhi.
Yes, and Alam Singh?
Even I sometimes go to Amrit Villa.
Wow, so I wish you all have enjoyable things to do. And so we should all celebrate this occasion because it's very important to us. Do you know how Christmas, other people, they celebrate because of Jesus is born? But we should celebrate this occasion, this celebration, because Guru Gobind Singh Ji was born. So I wish you all have a very, very good time today and keep celebrating and have smiles on your faces because today is a very happy day. So I wish you've learnt a lot today and you all had a very good time. And we'll meet you in our another show. Until then,
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.